I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
Drop your city in the chat. Spam the chat with your city. I have some new footage, and this is video and not.
This is Mr. Let Go. He's another content creator. He's been saying the same thing I've been saying since day one. None of this makes sense. None of it. Saying that a sniper was shooting down, but there's obviously a projectile came up, moved the shirt, didn't pierce the shirt, didn't pierce the tent. We're going to go over this new footage. I want to share it with my audience. Like and subscribe, tune in. Let's try to see if we can figure this out together. It's the least we can do. Charlie's Memorials right now. I wish I could have made it. It's about 30 minutes away. I went to TP USA headquarters, but I didn't make it to Glendale. But I think we should dive into this together. I'll let Mr. Let Go talk.
Picture, because a lot of the things that we've seen was pictures. So we have new angles, we have new video footage of what happened right after the situation actually happened. And we're easily going to be able to see the blatant ineptitude of his security team that I think may have been paid off by IHOP, and we'll just stay with that. So everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. My Rams just lost, so I'm a little upset, and the ending was the dumbest ending I've ever seen in my life. So, but I'll put my feelings to the side and stick to this. But drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Let's go.
Yeah, the 30-06 magically did not blow his head off, and it goes clean through. If it goes clean through, how come there is no hole in the tent?
How come there's no hole in the tent? This is not the footage yet. I'm gonna wait for a couple people to come in, and then I'm gonna play the footage. We seen this footage already.
And there's no blood splatter. If it goes clean through, there should be a hole in the tent, blood splatter, and then concrete behind the tent should be chipped up. So the official report has the FBI there 10 to 15 minutes after everything happened. If they're supposed to be there, where are they at? How come it's not locked down? How come there's no yellow tape? And how come they're not trying to trace where the bullet came from?
So right here, before we get to the actual new footage that I have, I just want to share something with y'all. And I'm not military, and I'm not in the police force. All right, I'm just a person. All right. When somebody gets assassinated or shot, the security of the person, their responsibility is not only to the person that got shot, is to the crowd that could get shot after the person got shot. Because when there's an active shooter, one, of course, police needs to be called. But two, there needs to be at least 2 or 3 people that stay behind to secure the perimeter. Nobody did that. As you can see right here, there is nobody. And then put a 1 in the chat if y'all have seen when they carried Charlie Kirk to the car and there was no blood. There was no blood when they was carrying him to the car. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all seen it. I've never in my life seen 13 grown men carry one man to the car. Why is it 13 dudes carrying one person to the goddamn car?
Mr. Let Go is correct. Actually, let me fix the focus on this camera. A really big red flag for this whole situation with Charlie Kirk was the fact that they were not worried about this being a mass shooter. Because if you think about it, anybody in attendance for the most part is going to share Charlie's views. So if you were there to harm people who are conservatives, then from that vantage point, not only could you have shot Kirk, but you could have actually aimed into the crowd. They were not worried about securing the perimeter, making sure everybody else was safe. They weren't concerned with that. They were just concerned with swiftly getting Kirk out of there. And then that was it. Everybody just went back to hanging around. They weren't really worried if there was an active shooter, but how so fast, how would you know that this isn't an active shooter situation? How do you know there's not multiple shooters? These are all questions that any of us have known because we live in the United States. There's always active shooters. And we watch the news, we see what the protocol is, especially if you're from like myself from Los Angeles, we kind of know how this goes. They did not care about that at all. That wasn't a concern. So that's why I wanted to listen to Mr. Let Go. He's making a lot of the same points that I've been making. Sorry about this whole blur, but let me go back to Mr. Let Go. I got to get a new camera.
There's an active shooter, you idiots. And all of y'all are just going to group up and try to carry somebody to the car. There's nobody at the site except for the cameraman. Nobody. You got 13 dudes carrying, oh my God, 13 dudes packing into a SUV like some clowns at a damn circus. Somebody needs to stay back to see if they can find out what just happened. Is the active shooter running around active shooting more people? It was an inside job. They all needed to get out of there as fast as they could and to block us from being able to see Charlie Kirk. So I'm going to show you that, yeah, so-called active shooter, because like I said, it was something right up under here and block. That's really what happened. So the reason why it was 34 guys carrying Charlie Kirk to the SUV is so nobody can see past the 34 guys carrying him to the car. So we can't see what's going on. And how did all the 34 guys fit in the damn SUV? And nobody goes back. Nobody grabs his stuff. Nobody grabs his wallet. Nobody grabs his, you know, when you go somewhere, you kind of like sit a bag down, or you don't come back and get his stuff. No.
Well, what they did go back and do was retrieve all of the cameras that had the up close footage, the professional cameras. See, as of today, the only footage we've all seen have been amateur cell phone recordings where people that were in the audience. Don't forget, there were literally high-end professional cameras, news crew. There was cameras in front, cameras from behind, because this is a production. Those are the only things everybody were worried about confiscating, and just kind of like the Pentagon video on 9/11, how they took all the cameras from around Pentagon City that could have got a glimpse of what hit the Pentagon. It's the same thing now with Kirk. They don't want you to see the trajectory of the projectile that hit him. They don't want you to know that it came from, it appears to be underneath in front of him, not from the side. Because for some reason his shirt blows up. And then it seems like something just hits him on the side of the neck, but it hit a vein. I know people are going to say, well, if he's dead, he's dead. It doesn't matter. Everything matters because we need to know who's doing this cover up. And that way we can figure out when they're going to do it again. He keeps saying, we all know who the I is. And we watched the movies. We know about Mossad. We know about certain groups. I'm not monetized in the first place, so I don't have to worry about getting monetized or demonetized. However, just for argument's sake, we'll play the game, but we all know who we're alluding to. Everyone's alluding to them because if there's smoke, there's fire, and they do have a history of doing this. They have a history. This kid, Tyler Robinson, no history. Hey, he's autistic. He's gay. He's been manipulated, but he's a patsy, a fall guy, not the person. And it seems like the agents that were moving around Kirk seem to move and handle themselves the way we've seen agents who work for this agency that rhymes with NOSAD. And we've seen how professional those guys are. They're some of the most trained men in the world, and This was extremely lethal, but it was also executed very well. Professionals. So I think I don't know. I don't think me, Mr. Let Go, Candace Owens, our vice president JD Vance. I don't think senators and congressmen who are calling out these connections, because apparently there was an issue with BB. There was an issue between him and Kirk. But just to see them go this far, it just shows you they don't give a damn about the United States, and they don't have zero respect for us. We're their pets. But that's going to end soon.
And then the second group of people that actually had something to do with this was the goddamn camera people. And as you can see, the camera guy, and just think about this. Everybody's just walking around like do. 3 minutes after Charlie Kirk was hauled off into an SUV, everybody's just walking around smoking cigarettes, just talking about what's your favorite team. It was disgusting. Acting like this wasn't a cover-up. All right, so let's get to it. Everybody drop your shit in the chat. Let me know where you at. To the new people who just came in, spam the chat with your city, and make sure to hit the thumbs up button.
How come there's no yellow tape, and how come they're not trying to trace where the bullet came from? And this is what I mean. If it was a clean shot and it went cleanly through, which I still don't believe, but say that it did, there should be a hole in the tent, and the concrete behind there should have a chip where the bullet would have impacted.
Right. And if you just sit back and look at how many different people are still standing around after there was a gunman that killed somebody literally 10 minutes earlier. Look how everybody's just walking around talking.
And man, eat some Doritos.
And look at this guy. How much more suspicious could you be? He's literally looking around to make sure no one's looking at him.
Watch this. And we've seen this.
And then he takes a chair that Charlie would have got shot in. Are you serious? This is tampering with evidence.
See, here's what is happening. When IHOP offered Charlie Kirk $150 million to, do whatever it is that they wanted him to do, Charlie Kirk said no. And when Charlie Kirk said no, in my opinion, because I don't know anything, all right, I'm a nobody, they just said, oh, okay, so we'll give a little bit of this same money to the people that are closest to you. And they'll get you out of there. And that's literally what Candace Owens is slowly finding out.
I believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by people who are close to him.
You know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Based on what I have seen thus far, the evidence.
Look at all these guys. They're clearly working together, but they're all wearing shades. They're all able to recognize hand signals. They're trained. Now, I wouldn't say Delta Force. I wouldn't say Rangers. I'm thinking Mossad. Because when he was initially hit, the way the guy adjacent, the one next to him, the way he had something under his arm and he backed up from Charlie, but he didn't go in there and render aid or wasn't concerned. These guys have called out targets in the past to one another. They're a team that's worked together. They remind me of back in, what year was that there was an assassination in Dubai at a hotel, and they were all dressed up pretending that they were tennis players, and they were literally illegally in Dubai to take out I believe it was like a Palestinian, like an altar or something. But the way they moved in perfect sync, they even had women on this hit team. And they just moved in sync, and they were very smooth, professional, and then the guy was gone. And the same thing's happening right now when you look at the precision of these people around him. His entire security team was not really his security team. They worked for someone else. And if you do hear, I don't know if this mic picks up the noise. That's Mr. Bacon in the background. He decides to come in here while I'm filming. And he wants to go to sleep, and he's a bulldog, so he snores. I apologize.
the quote unquote receipts that require a way deeper investigation into the apparatus, the financial apparatus at Turning Point, there was definitely some weird activity leading up to this moment happening at the organization. And I've been able to verify it. I have been given names, and I intend to now embark on this lengthier investigation, which I need more help on. I've reached out to some journalists. I'm sharing the information with them.
So say the 30-6 magically did not blow his head off and it goes clean through. If it goes clean through, how come there is no hole in the tent and there's no blood splatter? If it goes clean through, there should be a hole in the tent, blood splatter, and then concrete behind the tent should be chipped up. So the official.
All right, so we got there. So now let me fast forward to what's going on with the new footage, because that's what y'all are here to see. All right.
Off with a beautiful 4K.
All right, so hold on. There's no blood on the white. Everything is still nice and white. There's
This
no
guy has
blood
never
nowhere.
committed a crime in his entire life. He's looking around to make sure no one is looking at him while he's doing something illegal. This is ridiculous. And then he just walks off with a beautiful 4K, 60 frames per second footage that would have shown exactly what would have happened. But hey, guys.
And the reason why everybody is so laid back, in my opinion, is because when IHOP pays you to do something, there's nobody to be afraid of. See, when a street dude turns around and say, hey, I want to pay you $10,000 to do this and do that, that's one thing, right? Because if you actually do it, the street dude ain't gonna take he has no responsibility for what you just did. And if the street dude gets caught, he gonna tell on you. So it's a lose-lose all around. But when IHOP, that has the feds in their pocket, when IHOP, that has Donald Trump in their pocket, there's nobody to tell on anybody. So what's going on is the feds that are in IHOP's pocket did not bring any of the guys that was on stage in for questioning. That's the first thing. And two, they did not investigate the cameramen and find out why the hell the cameramen had a great idea of getting rid of actual evidence and just walking up out of there with it. That is against the law. But when IHOP is paying you, you don't have to answer to nobody because you're over the feds.
So what he's basically saying is that you have no fear of the law when the people that control the law, you're doing their work. There will be no investigation. There will be no FBI. There will be no law enforcement because they are law enforcement. I think we're learning more and more that if it came down to the country of IHOP versus the American people, we would be surprised that they would pick IHOP over the American people. I think that fact is why they do these cover-ups, is because even though it wouldn't make any difference, that is the truth. And we are actually powerless. When the war started and we wanted them to stop bombing Gaza, there was nothing we could do to stop them. Honestly, if it wasn't for Iran, I think a lot of this would still be going on. It actually is still continuing, just a little bit slower. We really don't have control over our country. There is a shadow deep state that we're still fighting, but you can't admit that there's a deep state but ignore the source might be foreign. To think that there's an enemy within being controlled by somebody within, or is it being controlled and funded from somebody abroad? These foreign powers want control of the American arsenal. The World Economic Forum has been fighting against IHOP for control over the United States. I thought IHOP was going to lose control over us to the World Economic Forum. However, IHOP has prevailed this far. There is nobody to come investigate. We are the front line. We are it. Everyone's kind of already moved on and just accepted the official story. The same way they accepted 2 weeks to stop the spread, and that if you do this, then you don't have to worry about this and the mandates. If you accepted those, then you believe the official story, you believe the hijacked planes, you believe whatever the television tells you. However, for those of us who are skeptic and we believe in actually researching and looking into things for ourselves, I don't need another asshole to tell me what to think. I'm my own asshole that will decide what I will think. And that's why we make these videos. Let's get back to Mr. Let Go. Sorry, Bacon is snoring.
Right here.
Mr. Patel, before you joined the FBI, you had very strong opinions about what the FBI was hiding regarding Jeffrey Epstein. In a September 2023 interview with Glenn Beck, you said the black book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. In December 2023, you said, let us.
See, this is the FBI. But once IHOP got a hold of them, it was over. It was over. Oh, we ain't gonna check nothing. We now work for IHOP now.
Know who the pedophiles are. Even for a short time after becoming FBI director, in February of 2025, you tweeted, quote, there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left.
Now, let me say this. The word disappointed is an understatement about how I feel about Cash and Bongino. But then you have to realize there are some things that are more important than money, and there are some things that you can threaten somebody with that are even worse than death. These men are completely different people than they were before they took office only a few months ago, really, if you think about it. Cash Patel promised us accountability. He was uncorruptible. But now everything is lies, corruption. And it's embarrassing because I thought the transparency was on the edge. I thought we were going to finally start getting consistent transparency. I was wrong. Now there are some net positives that have came out of this, but after seeing how they're handling the Kirk situation, this is an overwhelmingly failed situation, and it's embarrassing. It's, like I said, disappointment is an understatement. I'm very disappointed in Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, just because I was one of those people that used to get on here and champion them. And I would speak to people in person about the benefits of them taking over. But when you see that once they're in power, they're all just the same. I mean, it's disappointing, and I can understand where the sense of nihilism sets in for some people.
There will be no cover-up. There's a cover-up every third day now.
Unturned. In June, you told Joe Rogan, quote, we've reviewed all the information. We're going to give you every single thing we have and can. But then suddenly in July, everything changed. You and Attorney General Pam Bondi released one video and said that there was nothing more to see. Your July memo says you uncovered more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence, but that you had decided no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. That is a quote. I think what happened, Mr. Patel, is that suddenly you discovered that Donald Trump's name was all over these files, and you started a giant cover-up.
So that's literally what's going on with the feds. All right. That's what's going on with the feds. So when IHOP comes to you and says, hey, I need you, you ain't even got to do nothing. I just need you to be the spotter. And, the one who did this and did this and it did this and that's all this other stuff. That's all you got to do. I just need you to put yourself in a position where you can help the sniper do what he has to do, or help us, or help the crowd, I would say. Explain again who is IHOP. Look, I'm not explaining who IHOP is. If you don't know who IHOP is, it's okay. The sponsor of this show is not IHOP. We're not talking about the freaking restaurant, okay? I'm using IHOP as a word because I don't want to say the actual word. And y'all don't say it in the chat either. If they don't know who IHOP is, let them not know. Don't say it. I don't want my channel demonetized. Kelly, stop saying who IHOP is. If they don't know who IHOP is, don't worry about it. But I'll give you I'll just say this. IHOP stands for International House of Pancakes. International House of Pancakes. So it's the place that starts with an I. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say. And if y'all don't know, sorry, but I don't want to get my channel demonetized. So can y'all please don't say it in the chat. Let them just be lost, because I ain't gonna lose my channel for none of y'all. Just understand that. All right, so let's get to the footage.
He got shot with a hunting rifle, right?
Who's this person? And they tell me the person's name. And I go, oh, wait a second. And I look again. I'm like, I know this person, because it's been a few years, but I know this person. This person's been around Turning Point for quite some time, for years. Like I said, back when I was working at Turning Point, early days. So I'm like, I'm just going to reach out. Obviously, I know this individual. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to say, hey, what's up with this? Where is...
So Candace Owens reached out to this guy that is taking down the camera. And it's like, yo, what are you doing? Right? So that's what's happening. The guy that is physically taking down that camera is on the phone with Candace. Let's see what happens.
This footage? Obviously, he's seeing all these clips going viral and he is fearful for his family. He doesn't have any security. Why would you grab the cameras? And he says, because the first thing that I thought is that I better secure the footage. And
thank you, Ryan. I like how you said it. Yeah. House of Propaganda. There you go. Thank you. So it's not pancakes. It's actually pizza. It's actually pizza. It's actually International House of Pizza. If you know what pizza stands for, to them, not to me, because I eat pizza, actual physical pizza. So it's International House of Pizza. And we all know what pizza stands for. And don't say what pizza stands for in the chat. Don't say it.
Be helpful and hand that footage over to the feds. Well, obviously that's where things get into a pickle with me, because
see, now I want y'all to think about this. Somebody starts shooting, right? And you are in charge of all this camera stuff, right? Are you going to be worried about some damn if somebody starts shooting? Yes or no in the chat. Stop, Patrick. I need y'all to stop. Stop. No, stop.
People in his chat are saying the actual name of the country we are referring to as IHOP. That's why he keeps saying stop, because even he's afraid that these people from this country that starts with the I, let's for now, besides IHOP, let's say Indonesia, have enough power that they can get you demonetized and get you flagged and get your channel removed off of YouTube by just mentioning them. The same way Governor Abbott, who I think is amazing, is trying to pass those kind of laws in Texas and DeSantis in Florida, where American First Amendment rights are curtailed when it comes to just one particular topic, and that is IHOP. You know, the funny thing is, the guy they said deleted himself, Epstein, he was also Nosad, who worked for IHOP. They have a good thing about blackmailing people. They have something on everybody. But it's just crazy, because I always wonder, what does IHOP have on the United States that they can just keep everybody in line? You know, I know when it comes to men, we're easily corruptible, because just sex in general, if it's not your wife, can be used against you as a man. And they have something on everybody. But there are some people that come along every blue moon, like Kirk, and you have nothing that you can blackmail him with. He has a wife, he has kids, he doesn't cheat, he doesn't drink, he doesn't have any proclivities. Similar to women. That's why it's harder to corrupt women, because typically they don't have the same vices as men. Getting rid of somebody like Kirk is because you can't control him. But also Candace Owens is also going to be a target now, because they can't control her. But she's also equally powerful and can command an audience, but people listen to her. People listen to Kirk. We have to protect certain people, the ones that IHOP can't control.
Stop. Don't say that word either. Y'all saying words, and I'm welcoming y'all. I don't ban nobody. I don't do all that. So I'm just asking y'all to stop saying these words. I know y'all trying to help, but please stop saying do words. Y'all can talk, but it's certain words. Yeah, say pepperoni. There you go. Say pizza. Don't say the countries, okay? Can y'all stop saying countries? Let's just say that. Don't say any country. Y'all say whatever y'all want to say, but please don't say any countries, all right? Please. Okay. God damn it, where was I? All right, I'll just keep going. I forgot what the hell I was about to say. Oh, I was about to say. This is what I was about to say. If you're just a camera guy, if you're just a sound guy, and you're at an event, and all of a sudden, pow, 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 or pow, and somebody's dead. You're the camera guy. I'm going home. I am not standing around after somebody just got murdered to take down some goddamn F that camera equipment. I'm out of there. So I just want y'all to think about that. And am I right or wrong? Say right or wrong in the chat. Am I right or wrong? F that camera equipment. There's no way in hell if I'm doing an event and I'm paid already. I'm paid. I got my money. I'm paid to do the event. And all of a sudden, pow, 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 pow. And I'm just gonna be like, oh shit, I know they shooting, but hold on, I gotta take this camera equipment down. So hold on, do this and do. Is you crazy? I'm going home. I'm calling police. I'm not touching none of this shit. Because I don't want to get shot. But guess what? When you are in on it also, your responsibility is just as important as the fake security is, because you have to hide the camera footage. The footage is more important than the damn murder. So you got to hide the camera footage. So no, you got to stay behind. Who in the world who isn't working for somebody is going to sit around and say, hold on, I got to take the camera. Man, I would have got shot in the back. I would have been worried like, damn, is they still up there? Like, I'm up there with the camera like, shit, I hope I don't get shot in the back. Are you goddamn crazy? Because they knew the little boy that was on the roof was a decoy. Everybody there knew the whole thing was a lie. So of course he's gonna hang out and smoke a cigarette and talk on the phone and play some music. No cops around, no yellow tape. And I'm not thinking about this mess because it was the guy on the roof was a decoy. All right, so let's keep going. And remember, I have new camera footage. I have not played it yet.
That footage, hand that footage over to the feds. Well, obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me because
I just want y'all to just think about how laid back and slow moving they are.
we don't trust the feds. Could you send this footage over to me? Well, he didn't want to send the footage over to me without checking with Turning Point lawyers. I asked the question, why
Listen to this question she asked now. Listen to this question right here.
can't I just release it? We've already seen the worst thing that you could possibly see from the front. The short.
Look how calm the man is. He ain't worried about getting shot in the back. He ain't even looking back. I'd be scared shitless being up there.
Run. He agrees that rather than send the footage, he will get onto a FaceTime call with me and he will show me the footage on his computer. He did that, and I watched.
So think about this. He said, I will get on FaceTime with you and show you the footage on my computer. Why do you still have the footage? It is footage of somebody's death. So does this mean he has yet to hand this over to the feds? Does the feds have a copy of this? Who made a copy? So you still have the original footage, which means the footage is not with the feds. So many questions. Let's keep going.
watched the footage and I'm going to tell you what I saw. First and foremost, there is nothing gory about this shot at all. And
So right here, I got to ask Candace Owens a question. So Candace, are you saying he showed you the actual footage on FaceTime? So you seen the footage? Yes or no, y'all? Say yes or no in the chat. Does it sound like Candace seen the footage? Let me back it up a little bit. Because if you seen the footage, what did you see? Yes or no in the chat? Do you think she's seen the footage after saying this?
what I saw. First and foremost, there is nothing gory about this shot at all. And so again, I am still going to work with him to get me the footage so that
he has the footage. You've seen the footage. What? Okay, if you've seen the footage, what more do you want from the man? You've seen the footage, but what did you see? Why are you not saying what you've seen in the footage, ma'am?
didn't want to send the footage over to me without checking with Turning Point lawyers. I asked the question, why not just release it? We've already seen the worst thing that you could possibly see from the front. The short run, he agrees that rather than send the footage, he will get onto a FaceTime call with me and he will show me the footage on his computer. He did that, and I watched the footage, and I'm going to tell you what I saw. First and foremost.
Okay, she's going to tell us what she saw. What she saw. Not what she didn't see, what she saw.
There is nothing gory about this shot at all.
Okay, you saw nothing gory. That's what you didn't see, but okay.
And so again, I am still going to work with him to get me the footage so that I think it should be shared. There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood.
There was no blood when they was carrying him to the car also. And the reason why I think there is no blood, and they struck my other video. They didn't strike it. They tried to take it down. I went against it, and they just made it where only 18 and up. They age restricted the video. All right. So I'm going to be careful in this video because I don't want them to age restrict this video. So the reason why, in my opinion, there was no blood, because it was all internal bleeding. There was no exit wound. So for those of you who did not know what my theory is, let's just do this. If you have not heard my particular theory on what happened, put a 1 in the chat, because I want to show you why there's no exit wound. Because I'm going to show y'all. So put a 1 in the chat if you've never heard my theory on what happened. Come on, everybody. I want to see how many people are in here who are new. Okay. All right. So a lot of you have not heard my theory. That means a lot of you have not subscribed to my channel. So for all of you putting a 1 in the chat, subscribe to this channel also. All right. Can y'all do that? So y'all are putting the 1s in the chat. I appreciate that. I'm about to tell you what my theory is and show you this new camera angle. But that means y'all have not subscribed to my channel, or you have not hit the like button. So if you can put a 1 in the chat, and thank y'all for putting a 1, you can also hit the like button. So make sure to do that too. So make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you could put a 1 in the chat, you can hit the like button and you can subscribe to the channel. So I need the subscriptions to be flying up right now, because a lot of y'all are just meeting me. And thank y'all for being here. So this is my theory on what happened. All right. And I said that this to the other people. So y'all just give me a second. All right. So I travel across the country with Tonight's Conversation is a podcast, Tonight's Conversation podcast. Right. And before we, go in the studio or do whatever we're about to do, we have sound people. All right. So sound people come and give you wires. Sound people come in and be like, all right, I got to wire you up And I'm like, okay, cool. And you just go like this, and they wire you up, and they say, all right, so we got to run this down through your shirt like this. Da, 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 da. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Right. I'm sitting here chilling. And then next thing you know, they like, all right, so we're going to hook this up to this, and then we're going to put this in your shirt. And we're like, okay, cool. And it's just wires. I'm just showing y'all, right? So you just standing here and you're just talking to somebody else while they're doing this, right? And they stick the thing in your shirt, right? And the significance of this is when y'all watched the actual video, there was a black thing that was on top of his shirt. Do y'all remember that? I don't have a black thing, but there was a black thing on top of his shirt. It was a black thing. The black thing was a magnet that was literally holding the thing in his shirt so it would stay in place. All right. Here's the significance of me telling you this. The thing that actually got Charlie Kirk up out of here, and nobody has been able to prove me wrong thus far. And it's been what, a week? So nobody has been able to prove me wrong. All right. So the thing that they have in Charlie Kirk's shirt at this particular point is like this. All right. And I have video proof of it being like this. It's sitting right here. And the guy, remember the three guys, one guy in the gray, one guy in the white, and one guy in the black. The guy in the gray who was like this, he had something up on his arm. He had a trigger, which is a remote. So the thing that Charlie Kirk had in his shirt was not a mic.
It was a close proximity trigger. That's why he had to get so close. And they had it aimed to probably go up this way through Charlie. And it probably adjusted when Charlie was moving. And that's when it hit the jugular. It was probably meant to hit him somewhere else. And likely as soon as Charlie hit the ground, they were over there like they're rendering aid. But what they did was they retrieved the device, moved his body, took down the cameras, because you see the jolt coming up from his shirt when it happens in slow mo. Go to Right Wing Rico if you want to see the footage we're referring to. It was a close proximity trigger. This was a setup. And they used this, this gay autistic kid who you've never heard really speak clearly in a sentence. The only time you ever heard him speak, and this is 2025 where people are on videos doing things every day, is when he got an acceptance letter to a school, and they were excited because they're like, he's autistic. How did he get in? Even they were shocked. But that guy is just a fall guy. And they're muddying the waters with the trans stuff and putting it out there with the families are contacting. It's just muddying the waters to confuse you. You never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. That's kind of what's happening. But what Mr. Let Go is saying is that a device that Charlie thought was a microphone or used noise cancellation was hooked up to him. But really, there was a projectile delivery device that was inside of this, pointed up at him. It probably tilted over. And when the shirt jumped up, it grazed the jugular, barely nicking him and actually finishing the job. That's what Mr. Let Go is suggesting. That's what I believe. And they were on top of him in seconds. These same men, these no-sod men, were on top of him in seconds to remove that and to get him out of there. And then one of their agents came and removed the footage. And now it's gone. And there's no one to talk about it except a few people on the internet. There's a clip from a conference in Israel. Israeli spokeswoman says black men biggest, greatest threat to Israel. Very, very strange thing to say, but she said it, and I did not understand what she means. Now I do. I'll show you.
Peace, family. My name is Vicky Dillard. Thank you so much to hear these comments. Watch this.
The problem with Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there.
So just to give a little bit of context to what you're hearing, you're listening to Judith Varney Shore, an Israeli consul general in Atlanta. And she says, quote, the major problem with Israel is the young generation of the black community.
Now, when you speak about the black community, there's only so many people that appear to be black that aren't brainwashed or completely just drenched in this inferiority complex where everything is racist and they're just so distracted with nonsense. There's actually people like Mr. Let Go, like Candace Owens, that can see through it and that can speak and that can analyze data and can share it without fear. That's the one thing the black community lacks is fear, especially fear of death. I mean, we go to parties where people we know are going to die and we still go. So fear isn't there. Now that I'm seeing all the content creators that are actually pointing this out are young black people, and we're saying that this is a Mossad operation, I think I understand now why Israel said that we're one of their greatest problems.
Because if you think about it, he had a mic in his hand. So why would there be a mic right here if Charlie Kirk had a mic in his hand? So Charlie Kirk is sitting here with a mic in his hand, but they told him they're going to put a mic in his shirt. It wasn't a mic. In my opinion, it was an air actuated pellet discharger. And if you just Google on Amazon, pellet guns, pellet dischargers, you'll see it. It's what hunters use. I think you can take a deer down. Let's see. Can you take down a deer with a air pellet gun? Let's see. For an air pellet gun to take down a deer effectively, it must be a high-powered caliber model known as a big bore air rifle. So there are air rifles, there are air pellet guns, pellet dischargers. So it was a remote control held by the guy that was over here. And the thing that was in his shirt was an air actuated pellet discharger. And when the guy gave the, started doing all this other stuff, the guy just simply went like this.
This is extremely obvious to anybody with an IQ over 40 when you watch the video. If you ask questions, everybody is deathly afraid to even talk about this or even try to figure this out or try to look for answers. Everyone is afraid except for people like us. No one else wants to talk about it. No one else wants to talk about what happened a few years ago with the mandates and the other thing that everybody had to do. That's why I have a page called Safe and Effective Pod on Instagram. And I literally just keep score of how many people are dropping. I keep score with everything. And nobody wants to talk about what just happened. 3 years. If you're in California, it's 3.5 years of being on confinement in a way. And no one wants to talk about that. And no one wants to talk about this. It's been a week. His funeral session in Glendale is today. And no one wants to talk about it. You clearly see a guy, something under his arm. You clearly see his shirt jump up. But everyone wants to convince me that this gay autistic kid that can't even drive a car figured out how to shoot through tents from hundreds of yards away. And then his boyfriend whispered in his ear that he was scared of Charlie and yada, yada, yada. It's just a bunch of distracting nonsense to muddy the waters. They don't want us asking about what was in his shirt. Mr. Let Go and I have already proposed that there was a pellet actuator in his shirt that releases a projectile. That should not be hard to believe or to understand. Why would you need to be double mic'd up? Charlie has a team of people around them. They're doing a production. If they want to wire you and give you a separate mic, he probably didn't think none the wiser. He thinks he can trust these people. He's just there for a speaking event. But these are clever people. Remember, they go around the world doing assassinations of different people. There's actually a movie about it called, let's see here. It's not called Berlin. Where were the Olympics held? In Germany. Let's see here. There was a movie about it, German Olympics. And that's the name of the movie. German Olympics. Year. Location. It's actually a city, and I'm drawing a blank. I used to live in Germany. I actually know the Munich was the name of the movie. And it shows how Mossad, that works for IHOP, went around to different countries around the world to hunt down people from the massacre that happened in Munich at the Olympics. This is not hard to believe if you study this group and you know their tactics and you know how good they are at what they do and how good they are at covering their tracks. They're extremely good. And they're using fear of shame, and everybody's so afraid of losing money because everyone's getting money from IHOP. I'm not. So you can't miss what you never had, right? I'm sure Mr. Let Go, Candace, none of us are getting a penny from them. So, I mean, there's, like I said, you can't miss what you never had. But this needs to be discussed more, and no one wants to talk about it. No one even wants to touch on it and say, well, I would think PBD, he believes in conspiracies. I would have thought that he would have did a segment about this by now. But with Adam right there, who is literally running cover for IHOP 24/7 on his show, he would have to remove him from the panel to even think about talking about it. So it's going to be difficult unless you're going to talk to content creators like us. Do me a favor, share the video, follow the channel. We appreciate you tuning in. Follow Mr. Let Go as well. He's great. But let's continue.
And then it went pop, and that's why the wound, which I can't show because they age restricted that video. When y'all seen the wound, it was a weird shaped wound. See, bullets, you don't see entrance wounds. It's a big entrance wound. But it was a pellet that went in his throat. So it wasn't a bullet. It was a round pellet. So it was sitting right here, and it just pop, and it went straight in his throat. That's why there's no exit wound.
Now, let's for one thing, if the wound is weird, that means it's not common. So we've all seen what a pellet wound looks like. You can look those up. This country has been known for also generating their own munitions. This could have been a projectile that was custom made. If they went as far as to do engraving on shell casings and leave them at the scene, what type of equipment does it take to even leave to make an engraving in a shell case? College kids don't usually have that in their dorm rooms. So it's a specialty. Where did you take these bullet shell casings in that city where they would have just thought nothing of engraving some weird stuff onto these shell casings and actually handing them back to another kid? He didn't do it himself because he's autistic, for one, and for two, some of the stuff's in Italian. It's like a play on words with the Call of Duty game and something about fascists or whatever. But this guy wouldn't have been it. That takes precision. So you would have to outsource it to someone. But who would even think about doing that and giving it back to you without being suspicious or a red flag? And he didn't do it himself. So whoever has that kind of equipment, is plausible that they also developed their own munitions. And we don't know what type of munition this was. It could have already been something that hits and disintegrates, and you won't even be able to find a trace of it. These people are good. They're professionals. It's 2025. You wouldn't be considered a professional if you were anything less than perfect. Keep that in mind.
All right. So for those of you who say, oh, it was a sniper. Okay, where's the gunshot? Where's the bullet? Where's the entrance wound? I just showed you footage that there was no hole behind the in the white background. There's no hole, there's no bullet, there's no nothing. So I want y'all to think about this. The guy that was on top of a roof, he was a 22-year-old boy. I have proven, just like a lot of other people have proven, it is impossible for a person that is not a marksman to shoot a bullet from that roof and just one shot and to hit somebody in the throat with any type of gun, no matter what kind of gun, sniper rifle, whatever.
Tim Pool would have you believe otherwise. I respectfully disagree with Tim Pool. I do not think just any old random person on a perch, hundreds of yards away, even if they could just put their rifle wherever they want it, where it doesn't move, and they can just boom hit. No, I don't think so. I don't think so because you can't name time where it was done before. Things that are pretty easy to do, people easily do. This is new. I don't think that. I think that he was a patsy, and they're putting a lot of this on him. But it's just like Maggiani. I don't think he did it, and I'm 100% sure Tyler didn't do it. He is, when I say autistic, Luigi Maggioni's autistic as well. If you want to see an example of what these guys are like, look up Rampage Jackson's son, Raja. Look at his eyes. Also, the same type of autistic as Mangione and Tyler Robinson. You can trigger him because he doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. When they were cosplaying and pretending to do wrestling, he thought it was real. When his dad makes jokes about how much he hates him and how he's a bad son and he's ugly, he thinks it's real. He doesn't realize these are jokes because he can't process that because of his mental condition. For some people, you grow out of it. Others, it's long lasting. These other patsies, they have the same mental capacity. If this trans kid told him that maybe you're gay because you're not autistic and that's why you're socially awkward, you can easily manipulate them to do what you want them to do. That's why they make really good patsies, but they also make really good fall guys too. Because since he's because he's on the spectrum, he won't be able to explain himself. He won't even explain his way out of it. He has no idea why he's in jail. He doesn't really know what's going on. But as an adult, he's not going to be able to explain that because he's on the spectrum. So it makes him a really good person to dump everything on and silence him. You haven't heard one interview from him at all. You haven't heard him really speak ever. There's no videos of him talking with his friends, cracking jokes. There's no videos of him even driving at 22. There's no videos of Raja Jackson telling jokes and driving either. It's the same pattern. And I would 100% assume the Butler, Pennsylvania shooter, a similar profile, autistic, trans beliefs, manipulated in school to think that he was gay or trans because he was socially awkward due to being on the spectrum. Actually, they manipulate you to think that you're actually gay. You're not actually on the spectrum. You're just gay. That's why you're socially awkward. And then they get you to put on a dress and put on lipstick, and then they clap for you and give you and you feel affirmed, you feel accepted for the first time because you've been awkward your whole life because you're on the spectrum. That's why they don't want us to know about the Butler guy because he's going to fit the same profile. That's why we know more about everybody else. We have known nothing about the guy that took a shot at Trump. The problem is they couldn't afford for this guy, Tyler, to miss. So they made sure they put something there that was guaranteed to work. They were not going to leave this up to any chance that the guy misses the shot because he hits a bird, flies in front of the gun or something, and then you shoot the bird in the wing, and then that changes the bullet's trajectory. They couldn't afford that. They had to put a guaranteed device. And also, so that there would be less questions, they did it in front of everybody. Now nobody wants to talk about it. They have to accept the official story, and that's dangerous. Remember, question everything. Even everything I'm saying, question it all.
Because when you're up on top of a roof, one is hot, two people walking around, you gotta stop your breath. Right? And then when you go, you can turn around and miss, right? So even you just breathing would cause it to be like this. So it is impossible for that 22-year-old boy to actually get a shot off and hit him in a carotid artery. Impossible. So the boy on the roof was a decoy. That did not happen. He was just up there. All right. So think about this. if you needed to guarantee this guy is gone, are you going to put a 22-year-old boy as a sniper on a roof? No. You got to understand, we're talking about IHOP. We're talking about IHOP putting all this together. You actually think they're going to pay some little boy to do all this? No. The thing was in his shirt already, and it just went choop. And that's why when he got hit, he jumped. That's why when he got hit, he went like this. See, when you get hit by, you got to understand, we talking about AR bullets. We're talking about large, like military bullets. That military bullet, 306, would have blew his neck off. All right. It would have been like, bah, his whole neck. He would not have had a neck if it was a 20-06. All right. It was a 5.56. It would have blew his whole neck off, or it would have went straight through his throat and it would have went straight back and it would have been a clean shot, one of the two. So he was not shot with anything that is a weapon. He was hit with something that was already in his shirt, and it went bop, and that's why he went like this and went like this, and that's why there is no exit wound, because the pellet was still up in his throat. And that is the most guaranteed way to get rid of somebody in that situation, because you have an easy excuse to stick something in his shirt and then discharge the shit without nobody even knowing it. And anybody, you can prove me wrong. I'll invite you up if you can prove me wrong. And then somebody said it's a gunshot from the back and all this other shit. Y'all got to understand, they offered Charlie $150 million. They don't have time to be dealing with no snipers and all this other shit. You got to understand, we are in 2025, about to be 2026. They ain't worried about no damn snipers no more. Do you know they have mechanical flies? They'll just let a fly like land on your shirt and explode. Like, we got AI. We have so much sophistication. They are not going to sit here and invest their money in some boy or somebody over there sniping somebody. This ain't no MLK 1970 shit. No, they're going to stick something in your shirt and it's just going to bow.
Now he's live, so I'm actually saying the same thing as him. I did not watch this pre-recorded. He's on live right now. I had no idea he was going to literally say the same things I'm saying verbatim. This is amazing, but it just shows you that if we're coming up with the same conclusion from two different locations, two different angles, that's called the scientific method. We're both getting the same result when we're looking at the evidence from different points, and we're literally coming back to the same thing. That's how you do it. It's a process of elimination. It's not looking like that guy committed this shot because the hole in the forensics don't match. It's not a match.
And then you're gone. That's the most guaranteed way to get somebody up out of there. So there was no sniper. All right. So I just needed to say that. And like I said, let me know if y'all disagree. Because nobody has proved me wrong yet. All this damn sniper shit. How many snipers have y'all heard say it wasn't a sniper? How many snipers have you heard say it wasn't a sniper? Every sniper that came online say, hey, I was a sniper. I'm in the military. Every last one of them said, no, that wasn't it. That didn't happen. You got it right here.
And the first one is probably the easiest one to explain, and that is the floating dot, or I've seen it referenced as the AI dot. So if you look right here on Charlie Kirk's shirt, we see this black rectangle. And as a matter of fact, if you go and look at a lot of his other content, you'll see the exact same black.
So right here, what is that thing? Do you see how it's strategically pointed to his throat? What is that thing in his shirt? And if he has a microphone at his mouth, why does he have a microphone under his goddamn shirt? Can anybody explain that? I'll wait. This nigga he has a whole microphone. That's like me having his microphone at my mouth right here, and I got another microphone in my shirt. Why? Can anybody explain that? I got a whole microphone right here holding it. Hey, black people need to do this, or whatever. Why the hell would I have all this shit in my shirt? I'm not. It wasn't a microphone. But this is a floating black dot. It was a magnet holding the air-actuated pellet discharger pointed to his throat. Look at this thick-ass shit. Back it up a little bit. Look at this thick-ass shit. That is not a mic. That is a pellet discharger.
And that is the floating dot, or I've seen it referenced as the AI dot. So if you look right here on Charlie Kirk's shirt, we see this black rectangle. And
look at that big ass shit.
If you go and look at a lot of his other content, you'll see the exact same black rectangle. What that is I think it's exactly this, by the way. All right, this is a magnetic clip. It comes with these Rode microphones. And because it's larger and has a little bit more surface area, even with some of these other small mics, I'll continue to use this one. But we see that there in place. Oh, and if you're wondering, a lot of times content creators, they will put the magnet on the outside and the microphone on the inside. That way viewers and people that you're talking to aren't distracted by this large device. It's just a...
All right. So that shows you what the black thing was on top of the shirt. And that shows you, because some of y'all will say, why in the world would Charlie allow somebody to put something like that big? That was big in his goddamn shirt. That shit was a shape. And let me know if I'm wrong. That shit was the shape of a remote control. Why the hell would they allow him? Because Charlie Kirk is doing an event. If somebody put something in my shirt and I'm doing an event, he's a sound guy, I'm be like, go ahead. I don't know what they doing. I gotta focus on my speech. And this is the reason why the sound guy and the video guy stayed behind and they took everything down. Because they are part of it also. All right, so let's move on.
From the back, there is no blood. So I think a lot of people were wondering whether or not that bullet pierced and went out to the back. I think I vaguely even remember, and Skylar, you can maybe live look this up. Like, I thought the feds were saying they were looking for a bullet at some point, which is now very alarming to me. I don't understand that. How could they have been looking?
There was no bullet. There was a pellet that is still in his throat. And all you got to do, because Diddy allegedly used to do it. Some of y'all know what I'm about to say. Diddy allegedly, because I don't know, used to pay off the coroner. That's all you got to do. So if you got enough money to get somebody popped, the first thing is the popping, right? The second thing is the taking the person to the hospital. The third thing is the coroner. See, if the person is dead before they make it to the hospital, because remember, all those dudes, strangely, it was like 30 different dudes, about like 12. All of them was trying to carry him to the car, and everybody jumped in the car. Why is everybody jumping in the car instead of securing the goddamn perimeter? There's a possibility that they needed him to be dead before he got to the hospital. Because if you're dead on arrival, there's no reason for the hospital to check you out, to check with exit wounds and bullets. There's no reason. You're dead. So the second you get pronounced, see, the coroner has to pronounce you dead. So what happened was when he got in the SUV, they, he's supposed to be dead, so they made sure he was dead. And then before they got to the hospital, they probably pulled up under the awning and said, he didn't make it. Oh, we don't want him in here if he didn't make it. Call the coroner, right? And then the coroner, who they pay. You could pay a coroner nothing. Like, he's a coroner. Like, he don't need no money. Pay a coroner, like, you know, $10,000. I don't know, 20. I don't know what the hell it is because I never did it before. Pay the coroner to just write down there was no foul play or this and that, you know, natural, you know, I'm just saying different things they can say. And then boom, that literally stops the investigation right there. Because nobody is going to investigate his dead body as much as a coroner is. So after the coroner gets paid off and, you know, does what he has to do, and this is what, you know, allegedly Diddy used to do, you know, Kim Porter, you know, different people or whatever. And next thing you know, hey, he's gone, nothing else to see here. And then boom, you're done. If you was a coroner and your whole job is to deal with dead bodies every day, you'll take $10,000 to lie on some paper. That ain't nothing.
Or a bullet, because if I'm not seeing, and there isn't, I'm telling you, what happens in the front is not what happens in the back at all. If I'm not seeing any blood, what are we to take from that? The only thing that could make sense, if what they're saying is true and that person took the shot from the place that they're saying that individual took the shot from, it would suggest that it was inside of Charlie, right? And
the pellet is inside of Charlie. That's it. A bullet cannot still be inside of a Charlie. Do you know how rubbery our necks are, y'all? I just want y'all to take a second to think about that. Everybody take a second. Just pull on your neck. Pull on your neck real quick. Everybody just pull on your neck. Your neck is the most rubbery. Your neck and your ass are the most rubbery parts on your body. You actually think a bullet is going to stop inside of your neck? That don't make no sense. Why would a bullet, of all things, stay in your neck? Your throat is rubbery as hell. Like, anything could go through your neck. So no, the bullet was not still in his neck because your neck is too soft and mushy to stop a bullet from traveling. It would just go straight through. Your neck is like butter. It's like shooting a bar of margarine and say, "Oh, the bullet stayed in the butter." It's butter. What? That don't make no sense. So Kirk said my neck and ass are like iron. Yo, you're hilarious.
they would know that. The feds would have known that. So they would have communicated that they were never looking for
a bullet.
Because remember, one shot. So I'm very confused. I'm very confused, not by what I saw, but what I didn't see. Okay.
You didn't say what you saw, and you didn't even say what you didn't see. I'm on Candace's side, okay. But
that's pretty much all I can tell you right now. And
all right, so now let's get to the footage. Everybody in the chat say, "Give me the footage." Everybody in the chat say, "Give me the footage." Everybody in the chat say, "Give me the footage." Spam the chat with "Give me the footage."
He hasn't confessed.
Oh, this is not it.
Comments being like, Bill Ackman, sue.
Hold on, where's the video? Everybody say, "Give me the footage." All right, hold on. What's going on?
That Charlie Kirk was betrayed. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to say, go pickle with me. Did that. The thing that, or you can maybe live look this from that. The only thing that could make sense if what they're saying is true and that person.
Uh-oh. Hold on a second. What the hell is the footage? All right, hold on, let me play this. Let me figure out what's going on. Give me a second. Because I got the new footage. I think I didn't send it yet. Hold on a second. So I'm going to play this and give me 1 second.
In America over the last 10 years. counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
With the white hat that was giving all of the signals, this man had the audacity to come out and speak. This means he is not in custody. He is not in any type of trouble, because you already know when you get taken into custody, get out on bail, the first thing your lawyer is going to say, don't say anything. So the fact that this dude is actually talking, he's on stage talking about this, means that he is not brought up on any charges. He is not up under any criminal investigation, which is crazy. And it goes back to Patel.
Mr. Patel, before you joined the FBI, you had very strong opinions about what the FBI was hiding. I think what happened, Mr. Patel, is that suddenly you discovered that Donald Trump's name was all over these files, and you started a giant cover-up.
Because Patel is head of the FBI. Watch. Hold on, looking for the footage now, y'all. Trying to figure out. I found it, but I got to send it to my computer real quick.
Finally, we have new information from Frank here. Check it out.
I'm standing 25 feet off Charlie's right elbow. Oh yeah, I'm the guy in the white hat making the signals to the sniper. Yeah, you probably saw that on the internet. And we know if it's on the internet, it has to be true. You know, I just got a call from an FBI agent. He said there's a guy in DC that he just wants us to check into it. I'm like, are you crazy? First of all, there's a sniper on the roof. Does he need some guy standing 25 feet from the target to go, yeah, there he is. He's looking towards.
Okay, how do you not see the sniper, stupid? Your job is to have a drone flying around or either be able to see things that the average person can't see. So if there's a sniper on top of the roof that students were able to see, but you and your cohorts were not able to see, you are the problem. So either you had a part in this or you're an idiot because you didn't see the goddamn sniper. Students seen the damn sniper and your dumb ass didn't. So either you are incompetent. All right, so I have the footage. I'm sending it to the computer right now. So give it a second. I'm about to release the files. Or you are one of the goddamn spotters. One of the two.
Frankly, I would have liked a more direct answer. Were you using internal signs for the security team, or was that completely made up? Now, it is a silly note that a sniper who's looking down the scope needs a signal from a guy who's 25 feet off to his side.
The sniper is not looking at the spotter who's over here. The sniper is looking at the person. The sniper has audio in his ear. So you got the Vic, which is the victim, the target. You have the spotters, and then somebody else has audio in the sniper's ear saying, go for it. The sniper is not looking at the spotters.
I would have liked that you were taking.
See Charlie go back. And my first thought was, no, because I thought this might happen at some point. And I started to head toward him. And
whoa. You thought this might happen at some point. Interesting. So if you thought this may happen at some point, why don't you have anybody checking out the goddamn roofs, sir?
And my first thought was.
And of course, this is the guy that was doing all the hand movements behind Charlie.
No.
Right,
I thought this might happen at some point.
Is loading.
And I started to head toward him, and the security team was right there. So then I ducked down, thinking there would be more shots. And they went that way, and I went this way, and I met them at the car.
Now, during the shot, we see him.
I met him. All right, so here's the footage. Here is the footage. So let's break this down. God damn it. Hold on. All right, so I got the footage. Hold on a second. Get rid of this. Here is the footage. Sorry, y'all. I thought I had it. Here we go. All right, so here is the footage right here. Let me make it bigger. Pause. Okay. So the second he gets hit, you see the guy at the top doing the hand signals. All right. So I want to look for the guy in the white that was just whining and crying, talking about, oh my God, no. All right. So the guy in the black grabs Charlie. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. He gets hit. The guy grabs Charlie. All right. So right here to your left or to your right, the guy in the white is on his knees. You see him? He's on his knees over here. Let's see what he does. So let's look at each person, and then we're going to look at another person. Let's look at the guy in the white. This punk ass dude never even goes over to Charlie, y'all. So this guy right here, who I was just showing you, hold up.
Look at his hand. It's like his thumb is waiting to press a button. Look at that. There's a remote in his hand. No one just stands like that. That's not how humans, we just stand around like this, just, because we have, our reflexes from playing NBA 2K all the time. That's not the case. He's holding something in his hand, a button. A button.
This guy right here that I was just showing you. Okay, how do you not see the sniper, stupid? Your job is to have a drone flying around or either be able to see things that the average person can't see. So if there's a sniper on top of a roof that students were able to see, but you and your cohorts were not able to see, you are the problem.
It seems like they did the exact same thing in Butler, Pennsylvania, but there were maybe a handful of patriots that prevented them from installing the same device they were probably going to use to hit Trump. They were probably going to install the same type of actuator device in the podium, and they had this the prop sniper on the roof. And I bet you, before they could install that actuator, a patriot literally probably went up there and removed it. But there's no stop. There's no reverse. All they know is go, go, go. And Trump's still here. But unfortunately, Kirk did not receive the same assistance, unfortunately.
So this guy right here didn't even go to Charlie. All right, so he gets hit. Remember, the guy in the white is over out of the screen. Grabs Charlie. Here he is. This nigga's on his knees like a bitch. He's over here on his knees like a bitch. Look, oh, like, what are you doing? Why are you on your knees?
Well, he it seems like he's pretending he thinks there's a sniper, but he knows there isn't a sniper. So it seems like he's playing the role. All of these guys with their shades on, they're all working together. So they're a team.
So that's the first thing. So the guy in the white is a bitch. That's the first thing we can understand. So now let's look at everything and see. Now let's just look at the guy in a black now. Everybody watch the guy in a black. What does he do? Wow. Okay. All right, he grabs him. All right. Okay, right here, okay. Now they about to pick him up. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. So if you look behind them, one thing you don't see is bullet holes. You don't see no bullet holes. You don't see no bullet holes behind him.
Because he wasn't shot with a gun, so there wouldn't be any bullet holes.
Why is it? Okay, here we go. You don't see no bullet holes in the back. That's the first thing. He got hit. There's no bullet. Just look at the back awning. The awning doesn't even. Let's see if the awning moves when he get hit. Look at the awning. The awning does not move behind him. The awning is a backdrop. The backdrop does not move. Watch this. The backdrop does not move at all. That shows you it's not a goddamn bullet.
Again, with all the professional cameras in front, behind, to the side, we're all just looking at amateur footage from people in the audience that have been posting it online, and that's what we have to use to analyze. Not the professional 4K high definition cameras that were all around. We're literally looking at cell phone footage from a distance that we're fortunate enough that people uploaded.
Everybody share this video. This is new footage that nobody has. All right, so the guy is pausing it to make sure you see every second of it. And then they carry him out. How does everybody still have their sunglasses on?
I was literally just about to say that they all kept their shades on. No one took their glasses off to get a better look at the situation. They're all still just cool as cucumbers wearing their fucking shades.
How is it that everybody just jumping over the table and shit? Nobody loses their sunglasses. Everybody still got their sunglasses on. Look at everybody with their sunglasses on. Charlie is the only person who don't have sunglasses on. And let me know if it's something that y'all see and I don't see right here. So the guy who put together this video, yeah, where's the blood splatter? Exactly, AJ. They made this arrow right here. I don't know where they're pointing at. The only thing I can say that they're pointing at is the air actuated pellet discharger that was in his shirt.
Whatever it was, it definitely came out of his shirt. It definitely came up from under his shirt. And we have the footage of the shirt moving directly up and following the path of the injury. It was under his shirt. Why? Why do this? I guess there's a million reasons, but we know who's behind this. We all do.
All right. So they run him out. No late logo and a pure white shirt. If it's blood everywhere, his shirt would have been drenched with blood. But as you can see, the goddamn shirt was like virgin white snow.
If you remember, the injury hit an artery, so it was pouring out. But it was pouring out behind, going backwards, because it nicked his neck. It's like it nicked his neck and it nicked the artery. So a lot of the blow was going back. It's not like he was hitting the chest and it would be a wound where it would drain onto your shirt. So that's probably why you don't see any blood. It was going out and backwards and he fell back immediately. So there wouldn't be an angle for it to get on the front of his shirt. It shouldn't be on the front of his shirt, basically. But everything else he's saying is correct.
Everything. The backdrop is still white. His shirt is still look how white his.
I mean, the guys who were there picking him up, their hands should be bloody. And when one of them touching another part of Charlie's shirt would transfer the blood to the shirt. So I don't see that.
Shirt is, y'all. There's no blood on his shirt. Like, if he's literally profusely bleeding right now, wouldn't his shirt have all kinds of blood? Yes, this is a live stream. There's no blood nowhere. I don't see a speck of red. I don't even see nothing. Shoes nice and white. Didn't no blood get on the shoes. Look at this. Not one speck of blood. No blood. Brand new Air Force Ones. No blood on the shoes either. And I'm showing this in slow motion over and over again so y'all can see different small angles. Because I want y'all to tell me what y'all see. No blood. Absolutely no blood. No nothing. Nothing. Somebody said there's clear blood. Where is clear? So it's clear blood? So blood be clear? You can see his whole shoulder is red.
You know, at this point, this is pretty much, this is it. This is all we need to see at this point. I don't think there's anything new. This is the new footage. This is actually the best footage I've seen so far of the immediate aftermath. And you can just see the coordinated shit show from these professionals, these spooks in their shades, and how they hooked this thing up to Charlie and they took him out. I hate to say this, but it helps me with the algorithm. Like and subscribe, share my video, follow Mr. Let Go as well. We're going to keep bringing you more and more content. I'm going to share this on all the platforms. If you have any comments, leave them, and I'll respond to you promptly. We look forward to talking to you shortly, and keep an open mind about this. We need answers, and right now we don't have them. Question everything. Cheers.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.